So when I tried this before the camera cut off, and I could say that's testing my patience a little bit. All right. And I also could say, you know, it isn't really quantifiable, but, I just thought I would look and see 7.5+ years of social isolation after, I've told the story many times, and I think I have to just sort of, I have little calculators down there. When I tried to minimize this before it went down, so it doesn't really sound like as much with the number of days. I think it doesn't sound like as much as it could. I feel like the number of weeks, yeah, you can hear it. And the number of hours, that also doesn't sound like much, but if I were paid $10 an hour for every hour, then I would be owed over $500,000. All right, well, what would I do with that anyway? And harm can't be undone. But, if something were going to be paid, maybe it could be paid, monetarily to, middle school students from 20 years ago. The woman's family who was the live-in maid of my ex's mother. All right, but yeah, so 7.5+ years. It's 2,767 days. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot. 66,408 hours is what I calculated. And, really, again, are these things quantifiable? And I'm not that good at math, but 395 weeks. What does it take? I just wonder what it takes. And the reason that I'm talking about it is because I'm sitting here and it's like, all right, I guess I'm going to listen to language if there's a new language lesson up. And here I go into this evening of this goddamn isolation again. And yeah, it's real fucked up. Real fucked up. And I'm just going to say this. Anyone that doesn't think there's something wrong with it, that person really needs to be sat down. And we could talk about rape, we could talk about domestic violence, we could talk about a person being forced on drugs, and we could talk about misogyny. We could talk about a female supporting a male towards a goal that that female had. And yeah, sometimes a mother might do that. Well, I think that's kind of sad. But I ain't that motherfucker's mother. All right, so yeah. 395 weeks, 395 Fridays, some of them real hard for some reason that I don't feel like I quite understand. How long was it for my dad after he was disposed of, is what comes to mind, kicked out? And yeah, I wasn't quite this angry when I made it before, but it cut off when I minimized the camera to look at the calculators. How long did it take my dad? Well, he dated pretty soon after that, I think. But, he was homeless living in his studio until people offered him a place to live. Then he was offered another place to live. And then I don't know all the time frame. What was it? Maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years, maybe a couple of years. Well, what's it been for me? That's not what you know, I mean, and I could say this, two men that I could say there is someone who I would have liked to have moved in here if it had been possible to, and I can wonder, what if? Could I have kept him alive? What could I have done a bunch of years ago to have kept him alive? And he died in 2022, and there's another man, and I didn't think about him romantically, neither of them. He died in 2024 after he came to mind strong over 3.5 years before, and then I dreamed about him, and I knew I should be concerned. And I was prevented from being in contact with him by petty little shit. Grudges from middle school and shit like that. Social territorial behavior in a small fucking town. And yeah, could I have kept him alive? Well, sometimes a person's circumstances are not ideal, and sometimes it does not take that much. So yeah. So again, 2,767 days. Is that supposed to get up to, 5,000 or something like that? 395 weeks, according to my calculations. And, 7.5+ years, someone can do the math if they want to. I don't think it's all that quantifiable. 66,408 hours. And yeah, pay me by the hour. And even if it were $5 an hour, even minimum wage, when I have, a few $100,000, I mean, yeah, I just really, ambition, competition, backstabbing, history, and yeah, I'm over it. I mean, all I can do is stay alive, remind myself that I'm strong, keep looking at history, learn what I can, allow myself to be inspired by people, and hopefully inspire people too. Am I always nice? I mean, no. Listen to me now. Do I wish that I could be? Well, I'm not like that, I guess. Too much city in me. But yeah, so, I mean, really. He should have just fucking had a loaded gun in his hand and blow me the fuck away, I really think. He has taken more than my life. But yeah, and am I the only person to experience something like this? No. What kind of stupid drama queens do that shit? Well, he's one of them. And yeah, I think a lot of times it's women that do that shit, Well, yeah, well, you know, I hope he has some mountain adventures. How about that? And yeah, I hope people can see. I hope people understand. And yeah, people fucking die. People die. His boyfriend died of an overdose. Before I had filed divorce. And yeah, so I can't not want shit to start melting down for people that don't have respect for me, for people that have marginalized me, for people that have made it worse. I mean, yeah. So anyhow, well, just a few angry words, and yeah, If anyone out there has been fucked over, I hope it helps you feel better, and if you need strength, I hope it gives you some.